injected Drew with something in his neck at the end of the episode. She injected this man. Willow went free. Now Turner going after Michael. Chase want Michael and him to put things behind him, behind them or whatever. And I said, really? I said, really? Are you serious? Suzanne knew that Willow was guilty. Kai and Trina good for nothing. That's all I can say about them. They good for nothing. They over here talking about, well, who are we to judge? Because, we committed some crimes too. Y'all let the wrong people find out. We committed some crimes too. Drew was trying to get Willow. He was so desperate to get Willow alone, just to get her alone, and she injected the man. Now, for a minute there, I thought that she had put something in his drink because she brought drinks and stuff like that. She drunk hers and he drunk his or whatever. Then she came up behind him. Next thing you know, she done injected him in the neck. I said, that's what you get. I said, now where is this gonna lead? What was that? What was that she injected? I haven't seen the spoilers. What was that she injected this man with? I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting her to do something. I said, she ain't waste no time, did she? But hey, y'all, welcome back to another video. This is for General Hospital, January 19, 2026. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Oh, I forgot something. I forgot to say in the beginning, Anna over here hallucinating, or at least they want her to think she hallucinating. I don't even know. I don't know if it's on back, or they just, messing with her head, or both. But okay, so we're gonna start with Willow. They end up doing a replay of Friday's episode, the end of Friday's episode, where they end up saying she's not guilty. Michael was highly upset. He was highly upset. He ends up leaving. Everybody else was happy. She was thanking Alexis. She was thanking Chase. Chase done came his tail over there and everything. Looked like him and Michael gonna get to fighting on tomorrow's episode. I think Michael gonna ask him how long before he back in Willow's bed, and he gonna hit Michael. And then Michael's supposed to be, I think he gonna slam him on the table. I said, by the time we see your fight, it's been a long time. Hold on. Nah, I think what's the last fight we seen between, what, who was it? Who was it, y'all? The last fight we seen. Was it Jason and Drew? I don't know. But yeah, she was found not guilty. She was thanking everybody and stuff like that. Sonny had stopped by to see Diane, but I think she was in a meeting or something like that. She was in court. And Alexis too, but she was in court as well. Suzanne ends up getting word that Willow was found not guilty. She ends up telling Sonny. At first he was telling her how he wanted her to go free and everything. I said, I can't wait till he find out that Willow actually did. He over here talking about something, he want her to go free and everything, and she a psychopath. But I'm liking this. I'm liking it. I want to see. I hope they go back on tomorrow's episode and actually show it, or either show him tied up or something like that, and she explaining things to him or whatever. Or is it just gonna be one of those situations where she injected him so that, she won't have to do nothing with him because he was trying to get her alone for a reason? Oh no, we'll see, y'all. Or she could have just been thinking about it. Y'all. We don't know yet until tomorrow's episode. But yeah, Sonny was trying to see Diana Alexis. We talked about that. Turner ends up saying to Dante that she wants to know who tampered with that footage. She thinks that Chase did it. Anna was hearing Faison. Might as well get her out the way. She was hearing Faison. He was talking to her and everything. I said, I don't know. He talking about, so he got to heal first before he revealed himself and everything. She was like, your brain's in a jar. I know what this is. And she talking to him and he talking her back and everything. And I said, look, I don't know at this point. I really don't know until they actually show it. But yeah, what else? Kai and Trina, like I said, they just good for nothing. They let the wrong people find out. Talking about some, well, I was thinking, Trina talking about some, well, she was thinking that, who are they to judge? Because they done committed some crimes too and everything. But they did say if Michael was arrested that they'll come forward. They both agreed that they'll come forward. Because first Trina was saying she gonna do it because it was her idea. Kai like, I'm not gonna let you take a fall for it. I'll do it. Then they both agreed that they both gonna turn themselves in. I said, y'all might as well. Y'all ain't good for nothing else. Go turn yourselves in. I said, look, that's how we get here. They went from saying they done went to Alexis 2 times. Then Kai was saying at the beginning of that conversation how, they should have went to the police. I said, exactly. Y'all should have went to the police. Y'all should have definitely went to the police. But yeah, I was like, well, I think this may be interesting to see Willow go after Drew. It might be worth it, y'all. It might be worth it. But yeah, Willow tells Alexis that she wouldn't have been cleared if it wasn't for her. She ends up getting a hug. Alexis tells Drew that she wants him to keep up his end of the deal. Later in the episode, Willow tells Scout that she free because of her grandmama and she gonna be seeing more of her and stuff like that. And Scout was like, really? And Drew just standing there like, who said that? He just standing back there like, who said that? And later in the episode, I don't know how she got there, but Scout came at the end of the episode. I was hoping that Drew went back on his word because Alexis over here sacrificing everybody else and everything, but no. What else? Let's see. Where we stopped at? Alexis wants Drew to keep up his end of the deal. Suzanne shocked that Sonny want Willow to go free. Michael was mad. He was drinking and stuff like that. Sonny ends up stopping by. He heard and everything, and he don't want him to go down this path and that path, and he not gonna go down for. He make sure of, and even if somebody get ready to do the case, it's not gonna be turned. I said, what he gonna do? Threaten her again? He's supposed to be talking to her on tomorrow's episode. He showed up at the end of this episode. And what did he say? He said something to her. I didn't even write it down what he said to her at the end of their scene. Nina ends up thanking Chase for his help. Ends up inviting him for a celebration and stuff like that. She done showed up with some champagne. Drew told her he gonna tell Willow that she wanted her to go to prison and stuff like that. She was like, I'm gonna leave, but I'll be back. And next thing you know, Chase done came with flowers and stuff. I said, now why would you get flowers? I said, Brooklyn, get your husband. Get your husband, please. Why would you bring her flowers? But yeah, he done showed up with flowers. Drew ends up saying his change of plans. Nina had to leave, so the celebration is gone. Willow came. She ends up thanking for him for the flowers. She hugs him, and Drew just standing up there looking stupid. He just standing up there looking stupid and everything. And next thing you know, he's like, he got to go and everything. And then once again, like I said, when it went back to Willow and stuff, she was like, "Can you hold me? Can you hold me?" I said, "This girl crazy." Then she got him a drink. I was like, she put something in that drink. Nope. He drinking it and everything. Next thing you know, she come up behind him and she inject him. He falls to the floor. He was like, Willow, whatever. And then he just passed out. And I said, what she gonna do to him? I said, what she about to do to this man? But yeah, I said, well, if something happened to him this time, they can't say Michael did it. They can't say Michael did it. But yeah, what else? Let's see. She said she said forget leaving him. She gonna make him go away permanently. This girl crazy for real. Hold on. What else? Let's see. Turner tells Chase. Oh, Turner ends up talking to Chase saying that he may be going to prison. Even though Willow walked out of here free, he may be the one to go to prison. He's like, he believed justice will serve and he wanted her to go free, but he didn't tamper with no evidence. He would never do that. And he did their job for them or whatever. And I said, you fool, you helped get her out. You helped her. I said, I can't wait. Two things. I can't wait for Drew to see. Hold on, y'all. Is it back on yet? Let's see. 7:29. There you go. I said two things. I'm ready for Drew to see Willow for who she is. And I'm ready for Chase to learn the truth. Oh, and Sonny, because he over here talking about she could go free and all this other stuff. What else? Suzanne tells Alexis that she's acting like she lost, realizes that Willow is guilty. She ends up revealing that she knew that Willow was trying too hard and everything. She was like, she didn't know for sure, but she suspected that she actually was guilty. I said, you right. But yeah, Chase was still talking about Willow's innocence. Turner tells Dante to build a case against Michael. What else? Sonny tells Michael that he gonna make sure that he don't go down for this. I said, you good for nothing too, fake mobster. Look, I got beef with Sonny. I be steady talking about Sonny. Because he a fake mobster. They could have been got rid of Drew. Y'all get rid of everybody else. You did an FBI agent. Why not get a congressman? Why not? They would have never had to deal with none of this stuff. But yeah, what else? Let's see. I already said Turner tells Dante to build a case against Michael. Sonny said he gonna make sure Michael don't go down for this. Cause I think they should have done more. I said, y'all just pack it up, leave it alone. Trina said, who are they to judge? Now Willow stuck with Drew and stuff like that. Not for long. She over here trying to murder him and stuff. Michael was saying how he just wants to protect his kids. I already said Suzanne knew that Willow was guilty. Willow tells Scout that Alexis will have more time to spend with her and everything. What else? Drew told Nina she won't be seeing Willow anytime soon. I said, you already trying to isolate her. I was expecting him to isolate Scout too. But, they didn't show that part. Kai tells Trina that he ready to resign and everything. We already talked about that. Let's see. I said, so is Anna hallucinating or they trying to make her think that she hallucinating? Kai and Trina talk about going to the police if Michael is arrested. I said, Drew's trying to run everybody off. He ran Chase off. Chase done brought his tail to the quarterman in the house. He done brought his tail in the house because he stayed there, right? He need to tell my son, now that, Willow was found not guilty, I'm hoping we could put all this behind us and everything. He's like, you over here you helped them build a case against me. You sadly mistaken. And I said, Zach, what you think this is? And he's supposed to be telling him how long before he be back into Willow's bed. I said, the dog, he done hit him about that. I said, maybe it's more to it, but look, he done hit him. They supposed to be fighting and everything. I wonder who gonna break them up. Alexis ends up seeing Scout. Drew was telling Willow that he wants to go on vacation. She said, I ain't going nowhere with you. Then she came up behind him and injected him in his neck. Then injected him in his neck. I said, this lady's crazy. I said, okay. Everybody was saying this and that. I said, now that she done injected the man, how y'all feel? Well, allegedly, because we don't know if they're going to go back to it and she was just thinking about injecting him or what. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts down below on this episode. Stay tuned for the next video. Until next time, deuces. Have a good rest of the day and be safe.